I think the idea of a one single term has nothing to do with maybe the coalition. It is just the general conviction of Peter Obi, because I have engaged him on it. And he told me, look, what has destroyed our democracy is the issue of second term. And he believed that a single term is enough for a person to make impact. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. But leaders are easily distracted with second term. And immediately, the first year, the second year, governance is abandoned. And all you could hear is plans, preparation for the second term. It has even been compounded under this current dispensation, where in the second year, already we have full-blown political activities going on. And it was even triggered by those in government, mounting of their billboards, arresting dissenting voices, cracking down on protests, and then luring governors to defect from their parties. And then they introduce now adoption. And
endorsement, is that what you mean?
Yes, endorsement rather. Very strange to our democracy. This was done during the military.
Is it the first time we heard about endorsements?
No, this was done during the military. But now you have APC going around doing endorsement. They have concluded the political endorsement. Very soon we are going to have imams, pastors endorsing them. Then we will have INEC to endorse them. And maybe the judiciary will finally...
What do you mean by INEC? INEC is an impartial body. You know? It's a neutral body and, of course, has no political party.
No, INEC is as neutral as to the extent of they pretend to be neutral. Because if INEC were neutral, it couldn't have declared the result and immediately was asking people, if you are aggrieved, go to court. That is not...
Isn't that the right thing to do constitutionally?
No, it's not an... Is
it for anyone to create chaos? I mean, to go into chaos or something, or generate unnecessary...
No, it was not in the place of INEC to point the direction of where people should go. There is the Electoral Act, there is the Constitution. So for INEC to begin to point that go to court, that justified the level of how partial and how even incredible the results they have declared.
But this is democracy, you know.
Yeah.
If INEC said you should go to court if you're not satisfied with the result, isn't that the right thing to do? Since we are in a democracy, and democracy, you know, requires that if you're not happy or you're not satisfied, you go to court. You know, the court is there to interpret whatever it is.
The constitution that created INEC provided for judicial redress if you are dissatisfied. And every person that contests election knows this as a rudimentary requirement of dissatisfaction.
So one needs not to be reminded. Is that what you're saying?
Very good. So for INEC to take the responsibility of reminding goes to the root of the credibility of the election and how partial they were. So you see, they will be involved in this endorsement. I will not be surprised. But the point...
But if you're doubting INEC, you're casting an aspersion, you know, on INEC. Some will say, then what becomes of our democracy? And what hope are you giving anyone, you know, going into the election 2027?
No, you see, there is so much miscalculations about 2027. All these permutations you were referring to, nothing has changed in the political landscape. 2027 is between the poor people and the APC government.
And that's what we said. But then the divide, I mean, the space is deepening, it's widening. We'll talk about that. But I want to take you on something you said earlier. You seem to reinforce, you know, what Aisha Yusufu, for instance, said concerning Peter Obi's vow, you know, for a single term. She also said that she had engaged him, you know, before the 2023 election concerning this, and he was consistent about it. But you also talked about, a very critical concern in respect to how governance is being delivered in Nigeria. The first 2 years perhaps is for serious business. The next 2 years is about elections. And many are also worried that it is not possible, to deliver whatever kind of change you want to see in a country like Nigeria within 2 years, not even 4 years, for instance. What gives you the confidence, and how are you looking? You're part of government at some point. How do you think it is possible for one, to make an impact within 4 years?
Barrister Solomon Dalu on Trust TV. Yes, like he said his mind. He said exactly what an educated somebody was saying. But this particular person that bring this Solomon into his studio, you're asking question and you're still the one that answer it. You're not even allowing your guest to say what he want to say it. Like this person said in the comment section, Peter Obi is clambering for one team because in the present political scene, all odds are against him. If he is to go for the 2 terms, why did not he go for second term as a governor? Why did not he go in this 2022/2023 during the campaign exercise? I think the only 2 people that can be taken seriously are, but like they said is Elofai and Bat. They are the ones that have no constitutional right to rule beyond 2031. In fairness to him, it was article that mentioned this sometimes in 2022. I wonder why he's saying something critical that someone told him. This is a minister who said he did not know that these footballers people win, therefore do not provide for their winning bonus. Can you imagine? What is this person even saying? Did you watch the video to the end? Because I don't even understand your comment. See, this man is just talking about one team is enough, because why not using your 4 years or 3 years or 5 years to develop a particular something? It's not a month, it's a years to years passes by. So what are you trying to say? Like this person says, Solomon remained, in my opinion, the most straightforward and candid political to have in Nigeria. He speaks truth to power without minding who he consigned. Anyway, I will leave the full video for you to watch. So do well to subscribe, like, share.
Any serious person who contests elections into a position can deliver on the mandate within the tenure. This is because before you, it is not that you contested election and won before the tenure was introduced. No. You knew the tenure. You drew your blueprint. You should have been able to timeline your blueprint within the number of years available for you to achieve. So it is irresponsible for anybody to say 4 years is insufficient for him. We had a military leader in this country, in 6 months, left a monumental achievement that we are still dealing with so many years after he left.
Well, you are talking about a military regime. It rules with, what do you call it now, with decrees.
No.
Here we are talking about a democratic government that has quite a number of layers of checks, for instance. We have the institutional checks, for instance. We also have, even in democracy, we have 3 tiers of government. As you rightly mentioned, the National Assembly is there to check the excesses of the executive. The legislature is there, the judiciary is there to interpret and all of that. And then coming back to the institutions themselves, it is not something that you just wake up overnight and say, okay, you want to effect this change. Take, for instance, you're part of the Buhari government, late Buhari, he is very passionate about getting governance, to take up at the grassroots level, for instance. And that is why he was very passionate about the local government, revival. He came up with an executive order. But even with the executive order, nothing changed. Here we are with, President Bola Tinubu also coming up with, even going a bit further to get the legislature to interpret and to make it mandatory. but yet nothing is happening at the grassroots level. And you think this is possible for...
You know, there is a lack of the political will in governance. And everybody, like I said, who contests election knew the existence of institutions of check. These institutions suddenly do not emerge. You study them, you study your powers if elected. So you are quite aware of what you are supposed to do. So all these excuses...
These bottlenecks.
Yeah, they are not bottlenecks. You see, democracy is about lobbying. In advanced democracies, lobbying is even a profession. Democracy is about lobbying and engagement. Now, why we have people suddenly complaining is because they have converted democracy into monarchy, where they want to exercise absolute powers, unchallenged, unfettered powers. Now, if you criticize the president of Nigeria, the police will come after you. Criticism, which is constitutionally guaranteed, they will come after you.
So you're now coming back to some of the impediments I'm talking
about.
They
are not impediments. These leadership challenges, this had to do with the characters of leaders. Let me give an example of one great leader. Sadona, as a premier of the then northern region, was traveling with his vehicle, executive vehicle and convoy. And a villager stopped his vehicle. And he told the driver, stop, stop, stop. And the villager who wanted to travel looked the other side, he saw it was occupied by Sadona. He went to the opposite side, who was free, opened the door and entered. And Sadona asked the driver, let's go. They continued. When they got to where he was going to come down, he said, I will stop, I will stop. Sadona asked the driver, stop. He opened the door, came out, and then came to the side of Sadona and asked him, how much will I pay? And Sadona said, no, you are paying nothing, just go. The man kept praying. That is leadership.
Okay, I thought you were trying to compare to what is obtainable today. Even the children of the current leadership, you know, going for shopping alone would shut down an entire area, an entire, you know, vicinity, so to speak, or entire area, movement of vehicles and everything will be stopped. And you're trying to compare it with when leaders are, you know, seeing the citizens as masters, so to speak. Now, it is vice versa. Today, it is about...
As close as 1979, when Shagari was the president of this country, Shagari's wife was only going with an orderly and just using one vehicle. So also the governor of Plateau State, Chief Solomon Lam, the wife was only going out with one vehicle and an orderly. It is these excesses which you have itemized that is responsible for the masculation of institutions of check. When the son of either a governor or a president goes to shut a complete shopping mall, the question is, where does he get the money from? The convoy of the son of the president is more than the convoy of a governor. When I became a minister, I called my wife and told her, nothing has changed. I don't think that any of my children came to my office, maybe except the younger ones when they were in the office for the purpose of visa. None of them, they have no business coming there. So, leadership is different.
And you think one man, a Peter Obi, for instance, can change this narrative? Is that what you're saying?
No. What Peter Obi is actually saying is that a single tenure will cure this malignant attitude of second term. You see, governance have been abandoned in this country now. As we are talking, Nigerians are in the hands of bandits maltreating them. Nobody is talking about it. We are talking about endorsement. That's the problem. So Peter Obi is only saying...
But you were in Kaduna when, you know, leadership of the defense, you know, and all of that, those handling the security architecture were telling, you know, stakeholders like you, I'm sure you are in Arewa House, that things have changed, you know, things have changed for the better. Lives, you know, security of lives property has improved.
No, I was not there, and I wasn't invited to be there, and I thank God that I wasn't invited to be there to witness these blatant lies told by people who wear the uniform, the prestigious uniform of the Nigerian security. Shortly have they finished talking that bandits raided 4 villages in Zamfara. As I'm talking to you now, there are complete villages, over 200 people in captivity. In Niger, bandits have raided and carried women. There are videos yesterday, they were also crying and calling for help. In Sokoto, so I wonder,
but at
where
the same
is
time,
the gentleman? You see, an officer in the military or the services is referred to as a gentleman. And they go to the public space to lie shamelessly.
But at the same time, to be fair to there are also some level of achievements. Just yesterday or so, there was this interdiction, if you like. I mean, they what do you call it? Raids by the Nigerian Air Force somewhere in, I think, Zamfara or so. Yeah, in Zamfara, Nkuzo to be precise. And quite a number of bandits were killed, about 30 of them. Isn't that also some level of achievements that need to be, re-echoed?
I panic each time I hear that the Nigerian Air Force has raided and killed bandits, because the more I hear those stories, the more number of bandits and their resilience persists.
No, but in this case, even the bandits acknowledge, because they abducted I think a district head or so, whom they suspect was part of the people that give out the information and all of that, only to discover that he wasn't. So they also confirmed that actually about 30 of their fighters were killed.
The confirmation is not enough. The National Security Advisor has told this country that they killed 18,000 since they came in 2 years. And with the disseminating of 18,000, I thought the bandits would have been incapacitated. But Bello Turju, the day before yesterday, was parading kidnapped people and beating his chest and challenging the military. So each time the news of air raid is mentioned, the poor people begin to fear that they will be the next victim, because it emboldens. I don't know, this raid is taking place where they killed 30 in one location. They have killed 18,000 in 2 years, yet the bandits that we are seeing has increased in number more than the one they killed. There is something that is not.
Okay, in other words, there's need for consistency, and then there's need for follow-up, to ensure that this fight is fight to finish.
It's not about raid. It's not about raid only. You see, you approach conflict multidimensionally. This government is not engaging. It's not approaching the issue multidimensionally. It's not even engaging.
There is gap in the non-kinetic approach.
There's even a wide gap between the federal and the states and local government in terms of security engagement. As a chairman of my local government, I was able to provide security for the local government. I repelled over 1,000 armed people without even the assistance of the state as a chairman, because I was living with my people. The chairman of our local government does not live in the local government. The governors are permanently living in Abuja. Therefore, those...
that seems to be sort of a generalization. You mean all the governors? Because things are happening elsewhere. There are states that are making impact.
No, we're not talking about impact. We are talking about being in charge, being on the ground, to be the impact to be felt. You know what it means when people know that their leader is accessible. They're all here in Abuja. If you are arguing, tomorrow we go to the various lots and do census and do edit.
Right. I wouldn't want us to digress anyway, but then it's also very important we look at the issues very closely. You earlier were talking about also the fact that you think Peter Obi's vow should be taken to the bank. You agreed that he can, but then another dimension came to it. The reason why, in the introductory part, I talked about asserting I mean, 4 years and an uncertain 4 years is this. You know, PWB has 8 years by a constitutional limit, you know, to serve as president if elected. So taking a vow that he will only spend 4 years is something that remains to be seen. But another entrant, even though within the realm of speculations again, the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, has also, may likely also join the race. He's being wooed by quite a number, you know, the PDP, and of course some say the ADC too, is trying to get him, you know, to join the fold. In his own case, perhaps he has 4 years outstanding. And then some say this perhaps may create more confusion as we head towards 2027, especially in this part of the country that they are talking about, that has been shortchanged, that has been, sort of marginalized as claimed, you know, that has been ravaged by this insecurity that you're talking about. How are you looking at this complex situation?
All these permutations are permutations of the political elites. They have not changed the narrative. They have not changed the position on the political stage. All this calculation has not addressed hunger and poverty. So nothing has happened. The political class can use every method to woo people into elections. It's allowed. But the elections finally will dovetail into two things. Between the masses of Nigeria and the government. Between hunger, poverty, and government. Between insecurity and government. This is the language that the common person understands. You go to the villages, nobody is talking about. The coalition is seen by the common people as a vehicle that will address their problems. They don't care about who is involved in it. No. The masses of this country are like people drowning. If you send a sword, they will hold. They want to be rescued. That is the situation.
But shouldn't you be worried that the choices are widening, for instance? You want to dismiss the fact that there are, you know, challenges around navigating this complex nature of leadership recruitment in Nigeria, for instance. You can't talk about, you can't take away the issue of the traditional, you know, viewpoints around ethnicity, around religion, and so on and so forth. This is also a very germane issue. Now that you have an entrant, you know, if finally he agrees to run under the platform of the PDP, for instance, and you have, you know, a candidate on the other side of the aisle, that is the ADC, then do you think the same scenario that played out in 2023 is what we're likely going to see?
We're not good students of history in this country. In 1999, there were so many people that contested the primaries, declared interest on all the political parties. But because the issues were narrowed down to the survival of democracy, we ended up only with 2 candidates. We are at the same threshold now. The difference is that in 1999, it was the unity of the country. Now is we versus them.
Who are the we here?
The masses.
But the masses don't seem to be taken in this calculation. You talked about what has been happening at the local level, for instance. Nobody seems to be talking about that.
No, they are not taken into the calculation, but they will ultimately judge. They are the judges. They are going to be the judges. So the politicians, as you see them, we are even yet to have presidential candidates.
Of course.
You are going
to have presidential hopefuls.
Yes, you are going to have
aspirants.
You are going to have people like Prince Adewale Adebayo, also coming. He's from the southwest, very good presidential candidate. You are also going to have
on the SDP platform, even though it's also yet to begin.
Yes.
Because primaries have to take place.
Yes. That's what, even the Jonathan and the Peter Obi are still presidential.
But people are talking about automatic ticket anyway.
No, there is no automatic ticket anywhere, because if we are accusing the APC of impunity and destruction of internal democracy, there will be no automatic ticket.
That is anywhere. On the side of the ADC, but you can't speak for PDP.
No, the PDP, you see, from what I read, I have not heard from President Goodluck Jonathan, but I had the conditions he rolled out, and those conditions are insurmountable.
One of them, I understand, is also the automatic ticket.
Yes.
So, and you think, you are talking about...
So how are you going to deal with people like the governor of Oyo, who already has declared interest to contest?
Well, this is party politics.
So this is why I'm telling you that don't make the issues of the behavior of politicians in search of power a national debate. No. They will all, after said and done, because every one of them is convinced that the only person to be challenged and sent packing is APC. So they will come and narrow their differences to a point of convergence.
You think that is possible? At the same time, people are also looking at other parties like an extension of the current, the ruling party. Are you also not concerned about that?
No, and you know what the APC is doing? Every other politician who is not a good politician will do it. Because a good politician is going to be guided by his principle, his credibility, and performance. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign in 2023 with promises. In 2027, he's again still campaigning with promises. No, he's not done anywhere in the world. He is supposed to campaign in 2027 with his scorecard. Those who will have campaign with promises are those who are coming on board because he is in the office. But you can see in Kaduna, they were promising, oh, we are going to do this road, we are going to. A party in government does not campaign with promises any longer.
Are they not matching also words with action? For instance, shortly after that encounter in Kaduna, we've seen a minister, I think of industry or so, visiting the textile hub, talking about the Kakuri industrial layout, I'm talking about the need to resuscitate the textile industries. I would say that could also be a given.
So many ministers have visited the place and nothing has changed. So this one cannot even impress us. We understand.
I was trying to say it's also part of the desperation. Is that?
No, it's even more than desperation. You see, the president will need to change his style. Unfortunately, he's been deceived by people around him. And he's going to be into a big shocker. Unless...
When the party is already consolidating, gaining more, into its fold, as we speak, the National Assembly, it has almost 80%. So to speak, of the lawmakers. And yet you are saying that...
We are encouraging so many people to join APC. Do you know the reason? They have refused to invest the resources of this country in development. So we are sending people. Let me tell you, watch out. During APC rally, the crowd you will see there will even deceive the president to go and be resting in France. Sorry, you are forcing me to...
I don't understand what you mean by you're sending people in.
No, because they are the only people who control the resources of this country. During the end governance protest, we have no money. When we realized that the ministers were carrying monies and calling young people to give them 20,000, we disengaged our followership and encouraged them to go to the houses of ministers, let them go and insult this stupid man called Solomon Dalon, wearing red beret, deceiving them. And they collected 20,000 and brought it. That was the money we used in buying mineral and buying food on the day of the protest.
Is this for real? Because some will find it extremely difficult to understand.
No, it's going to happen. When it is time, you will see. We're encouraging people to go because it is our money. They have refused to invest it in the development of the country. So you see, there is an adage in Hausa that to dispossess a wicked man
yes,
dispossess him of weapons is a holy war.
Well, okay, perhaps this could be one of the strategies. I have quite a number of strategies. So you're now sending people to go and collect.
APC rally, you will have the whole world gathering there. But on the day of the election, they're going to see surprise.
Well, okay. Now coming back to the issues, because it's just not about the gang up or the desire to grab power. Fundamental concern is about what fundamental change are you also bringing on board. Up to date, there has been a very key challenge to the opposition members, the coalition members, to define precisely what they want to do, to make governance, to change governance entirely in the country as it is. Let me give you, for instance, you're talking about insecurity now and what needs to be done, the failure, which I understand ADC is also cashing in, the taking over, or rather the collection of ransom and then chasing away of communities, farming communities, has now become a campaign tool, so to speak. What exactly is the coalition, if you like, or the opposition, the ADC perhaps, is thinking that it will come on board with that is different from what we are seeing today, for instance?
A committee has been set up to draw a practical manifesto for the party, taking into consideration the history, the historical evolution of our democracy from 1999 till date. So the manifesto is not going to be theoretical. It's going to be practical. Now, those areas that are responsible for the failure of leadership, we will augment. We take the issue of security. The best way to handle security is for the evolution of a security architecture that will create room for the participation of people at every level. There is nothing wrong having a village police. There is nothing wrong having a ward police. There is nothing wrong having a local government police, even city police, even university police, and state police. So that this security architecture will deal with the peculiarity of the criminal tendencies of every community. The criminal profile of Sabongira village in Langtang South is not the same thing with Zurmi in Zamfara. The people of Sabongira historically knows how to deal with such crime because it has historical antecedent. So the best the ADC will do, or the coalition, is to try to evolve a security architecture that is practical. The governor of Katsina had developed a practical homegrown solution.
Yeah. So it is with Zamfara, and I think I'm
going to speak on Katsina, where he's even having a running battle with the conventional security. The reason why it is difficult for the conventional security architecture to allow the homegrown solution succeed in Zamfara is because of ego. It's not about patriotism. It's not about national, but ego.
But beyond ego, anyway, it's about time we open the line. Quite a number of issues you raised here. If you're just joining the conversation, of course, it's Sunday Politics. You can also join us by calling to share your thoughts on the talking point. We're looking at the 2027 politics and, of course, analyzing the shifting dynamics. We're digressing to look at some contemporary issues like security and governance and so on. So the number will soon be on your screen. You can call and share your thought with us. A follow-up to that, what you just mentioned. You are talking about coming up with, or rejigging the entire security architecture by decentralizing, to address the peculiar needs of the communities. But then you also know that there are bottlenecks. You talked about Katsina, for instance. The security watch there is having an existing challenge dealing, with these bandits because, they have, inferior, so to speak, weapons compared to what the non-state actors have. That's one. And then there are also operational challenges. We talk about that when we answer this, when we listen to this caller. Good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Trust TV.
Yes, good evening. Who are we speaking with?
Honorable Bode from Benue State.
Oh, okay. It's good to have you on the platform. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to contribute on this issue of today's topic concerning whether the masses are against Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We, the masses, are never against Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Okay, as a person, right?
We know where the country was before now. And what Tinubu is doing, whatever our leader is doing, it is our responsibility as the subject to pray for them, to support them, to ensure that they deliver the dividends of democracy, which is doing. So nobody will come and use us against the government, and we will ever agree. And it will never work.
So what you are saying in essence is you are not affected by what he has been talking about, the hunger, the insecurity. You are also from Benue, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
Sir, the issue of hunger is not only peculiar to Nigeria alone. The issue of hunger is not peculiar to Benue alone. The issue of hunger is a worldwide problem, you understand? Even when minister was in government, under Buhari government, there was a global problem that affected Nigeria. We supported Buhari government, and until we overcome it, why is it that they are not even supporting this government to ensure that whatever problem is coming, we also overcome it in Nigeria? Nigeria is ours. We are not going to abandon it for anybody. It is the time of the Southerners. I am from the north.
Okay, so you're speaking from the point of view of regional configuration.